Last year, on November 26th, I started my YouTube channel and this whole journey of breaking free from the shackles of society and improving myself and trying to make something out of life. Now, since then, I've done a lot of things, right? I've started my own company. I've made around 1.8, 2 lakhs in earnings. I know that's not a lot, but starting from zero, that's something. My body is in its best shape. I feel confident. I feel like I look good. I believe in myself. But how does all of this matter? What does it mean? What use? Why am I telling this, like all of this to you? What really matters is not that I started on November 26th or not everything that I've done even. But what matters is how I started. And that's what I'm going to do today, guys. I'm going to be sharing with you how I started all of this. To begin with, though, let's go in a little bit more deeper into how things were when I started. I remember the day very familiarly. I was sitting in my couch and my parents weren't at home, so I was home alone. And I had this idea, right? I wanted to start a YouTube channel. I wanted the first video to be a banger. And I didn't really want to tell anybody about it, which I hadn't. I didn't really tell anybody about the fact that I'm going to be starting a YouTube channel. Maybe my parents at max and my sisters, maybe. There was a lot of frustration. There was a lot of like tension. I was like, okay, what am I going to do? This is quite nerve wracking. And what are people going to think? This is going to be so funny. People are going to make fun of me and I'm going to be a failure and everybody's going to be joking about this. And I was coming with all sorts of reasons that could convince myself not to start. Like, Dhruv, this is going to be, you don't have the right equipment, you don't have the right lighting, you don't have the right tools to edit. You probably, when you start, like your video is going to look shit, your audio is going to sound crap. But I was just like, fuck it. I said, screw everything. I don't care what people are going to think. My first thumbnail was horrible. If you haven't seen it, I'll have it show up right here. And the audio quality in that video was also very trash because I literally recorded the audio from my phone. The lighting was random. The video editing was very off, like the color, everything was just very bad. But as a result, I ended up starting my YouTube channel and I'm here 1 year into it with obviously not a lot of growth, but even financial wise or my life goals wise, not a lot of growth. But still, here I am 1 year into it, and I actually stuck through. I actually did everything that I told I would. But what I want to tell you about right now, from where I'm sitting, is how many of those fears actually matter. Do I care what people think? Not a single bit. It's funny, it's really funny that how I think about, okay, does it matter that people thought that my first thumbnail was horrible? It does not. They probably laughed about it, but hey, look at my thumbnails now. I guess I've improved, so that's a smack on their face. My setup, I've seen quite a few of you commenting on my videos, like, like what do you like, what do you use, what equipment do you use, how is like your setup so good and all of that. Not to brag, but I've seen it, and I guess that's that for the setup. Do I really fear that? And did I really fear that as much in the first video? I did, but hey, here we are today. If you haven't got the idea of the message I'm trying to convey, then it's simply this. What really matters is starting. It's as simple as that. All of our fears, all of it, it just disappears. Once you just step in, it's like stepping into the pool. Right? When you step into the pool, you're like, oh shit, the water's cold and all of that shit. But as soon as you put that one foot in and that second foot in and probably a friend comes and throws you inside or something. But if that does not happen, then once you eventually get into the pool, you don't feel as cold, or probably after you put 1 or 2 laps after swimming, if you can swim. Otherwise, you'll probably just drown. But if you do swim, then you realize, okay, yeah, the water's not as cold, and I'm actually comfortable in this. It's very similar to a lot of things that we want to start on and that we're not. But there's a lot more to starting in the way I did it that happened since November that I want to talk to you about. And the first thing is versatility, right? If anything happens, like if there's something that the external world imposes on me, something where I have to change my schedule, or something where I lose something, or where I face some difficult challenge of finishing something within a certain deadline, which wasn't what was prescribed, all of these things I'm just seamlessly able to adapt to. And why is that? It's simply because I just chose to start and do and not think too much. A lot of times when we get all of these different tasks or different situations, we're stressing, okay, you know what, how am I going to do this? What am I going to do? But instead of just doing any of that, just starting and taking it down one step at a time, that is something that started from November 26th last year. But not just that, the next thing is the ability to just do. Like if there is a task, I don't think too much. Before, I always had this fear that Dhruv is somebody that overthinks. He's not ready to take risk, and he thinks overthinks too much, and he's probably just going to stagnate and not do things. But when I started just doing things from November 26th, when I just did, automatically, if there's ever anything that has to come, like whether it be starting my company, I was like, you know what, fuck it, just do it. Like, just do it. And it didn't really matter to me. I didn't overthink about what about this, what about that. Sure, maybe a little bit, but at the end of the day, I overthought about what to do. When I actually found out what to do, I just did. I didn't think about the problems that might come up and all of that. But guess what? When I just started doing, I also had a lot of control, because I'm, instead of procrastinating and instead of pushing things, when these problems or when these tasks come through and when I have to just execute, I just do. And by doing that, I have more control because I would have already finished a task. A lot of times I'll procrastinate things. I would, before November 26th of last year, I would get like some task or something that I have to do, and I'd just be procrastinating. I would sit on it. I would sit on it for no reason at all. It's not like I would be doing 100 other things, but I'd just be procrastinating because my mind was just in that slump. Now, when I just did from November 26th of 2024, of 2023, what happened is I started finishing things. And when I started finishing things, I had more control over what I want to do and what I don't want to do. So when I started doing things, then there's this extra time for doing things like enjoying, relaxing, and enjoying with your friends or your family, whatever. And then there's also time where you're just doing because you are executing tasks and finishing them, which basically meant like an end to procrastination. When I stopped pushing things and when I started getting things done, I started freeing up more time and I had complete control of my entire routine. And this is also something that came up towards the end, especially, which is the belief that I'm capable of doing anything. Look, if you'd have told me 2 years ago, start a YouTube channel, talk on front of it and speak to people, and whether your friends laugh at it, even today, there are people that, bring up my YouTube channel and then like, haha, they giggle or something like that. But to me, it's not something that I'm afraid of. It's not, I believe that I can actually make this into something huge. Everything that I'm doing here, not just the YouTube channel. Where did that start from? Just doing November 26, 2023. Now, another really crazy thing that I've been experiencing lately is I do not fear anything. I do not fear doing anything. How is that? How did just starting like make me this person where I don't fear anything? And this is especially happening towards like the past few months where I feel like I am capable of doing anything. How so? How did I get here? When we're starting out of things, before I used to think there's this deep underlying fear, right? Like there's a limiting belief or there's something that's like that's not permitting us to do it. That it could be childhood trauma, it could be some psychological effect deep down that's lying inside. You could, which is what I tried doing, backtracking and analyzing why you're thinking of things the way you are and what's causing this blockage and what's making you stop and all of that. Or you can just say fuck it and do it. And when I look back, that's what I did. I did not think too much about why I feel like I can't speak in front of a camera. Why does it matter to me whether my friends think I'm being like a fool in front of the camera? I just did. Through that, I realized something very crucial. And this is not something that I come up with, but it's something that Leila Hormozi, Alex Hormozi's wife, says, who are two great individuals. But they speak about what she says a lot, and he mentions it a lot. I haven't really heard her say it, but he says it. And it's basically fear is a mile wide and an inch deep. Meaning, when you're starting out on things, for example, you fear 101 different things. Like what a friend's going to say, my lighting, my setup, I don't have equipment, I don't have the money, I don't look good enough in front of camera, I don't know how to speak in front of a camera, and all of these superstitions and stupid beliefs that we make up in our heads. But guess what? Once you actually start doing, it's an inch deep. Because, and I don't know how to explain it, but once you're on this side of the surface, once you go past that fear and just do, you look back and you just think of everything. Like you can see it. You can see all the fears. It's almost like you're seeing it in your rear view mirror, even though I don't know how to drive a car. But I guess I can imagine one in this situation. You can see all of these fears and you're like, dude, I'm just like one step into this and they don't matter at all. And which is what I realized when I uploaded my very first video. None of that mattered. It just went off like poof. And what I've also realized is this, like I've tried telling this to my girlfriend and people and stuff, and they're like, shut the fuck up or something like that. But once you fight your fear, once you battle and come across on this side of the river, you do see it. And I really hope that this year you guys are able to feel this and experience this like beating of your fear. So to conclude this video, do not wait to start until New Year. you will already have a head start if you start now. Even think about it, because you won't wait until December, I mean till Jan, and the people that start in Jan, you'll already have a head start on them. So that's a mental edge for you that could help. But not only that, you won't wait for the rest of the year to start things. I was bulking, right, for the past 3 months or something. I've been bulking, and I was like, yeah, okay, I need to start cut. So I need to start my cut where I start doing more cardio and calorie deficit and all of that. And my first idea was like, why don't we start in Jan? That'll be good. I'm anyways liking the bulk. I'm looking big, and people are looking at me in the gym and all, like, a little bit big guy. But then I was like, dude, no. I promised myself that I'm going to start my cut 2 months into the bulk, and we are 2 months into the bulk. Sure, I like what I'm doing, so I can continue doing the bulk, but I'm going to start my cardio. So immediately, the next thing I do from the very next week, not a day, like not like wait for like a 30th or a first or any of that bullshit. No, I think I started on 22nd, if I'm not wrong, of November. I don't even know what. It was a Monday for sure. So that was there. But it was just random. On the weekend, I thought, okay, you know what? I'm going to start my cut from next week onwards. Boom. Next day, Monday morning, I get up 4:30 a.m. I go for my run for 30 minutes. I don't know how many kilometers, but around 3 kilometers. But my cut has started. So basically, the point I'm trying to get across is, don't wait for New Year's. Don't wait for situation or circumstances to become right to start. Just start with one thing. Take that one step and watch how everything around it changes. You will become invincible, which to some degree is what I feel like right now in this moment. And I absolutely love it. But that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I tried something different with the script. I don't know if you noticed it, but I tried implementing a little bit different format. And yeah, I hoped it was more like understandable or palpable or whatever. Maybe let me know in the comments whether it helped or not. But that's the end of this video. I hope you guys got some insight from it. Remember, do not wait until Jan to start. Trust me on this. Like, if there's one thing that you want to take away from this video, just start on that one thing that you want to start on from today or from tomorrow. You know what? If you want to make yourself feel better, start from Monday, but don't wait until Jan 1st, and watch how 2025 is going to be a really differential year for you. But that's it, guys. And I hope you guys like and share this to whoever could use it. And I hope to see you in the next video. But until then, bye.